Hello everyone, welcome to WebDev Warrior. In today's video, we're going to build an amazing AI image generator web application from scratch. We're going to use the latest version of Next.js, which is Next.js 15. We're also going to use Tailwind CSS, TypeScript, and Shadcn UI in this project. So let me show you a quick demo of this web application. So if I reload the page, you can see we have animation in our website. And here we have a demo logo, then we have some nav links with beautiful hover animation, then we have two buttons. Here we have a heading with gradient text background, then we have a subheading, then we have a input box where you can enter your prompt and it generate buttons, and here we have some popular text. So let's generate a image now. So let me write something like beautiful village with river. Now if I click here to generate, you can see here we have a loader which indicating the loading state, and when the image is generated, the image will show here. Here you can see our image is generated, and we also have a toast message that's saying image generated successfully. Now if I show you the image, here you can see it generated a beautiful village with a rivers, and you can see how realistic this looks. Now here we have a button. So if I click here to download, it will open in a new tab, and here you can save the image if you want, and you can zoom out. So you can see how amazing this image generation is and how realistic it looks. So next what we have a recent image with a slider, and here you can see you can slide from left to right or right to left, and this slider also have a auto sliding feature. So if you wait some time, you can see it will slide automatically. Then we have scroll animation. You can see scroll animation, how the image pop up in the screen with zoom effect. And this is the what we do section with some heading and a button. Then we have this pricing section with scroll animation, and you can see the beautiful price section. Then we have a client review slider which looks amazing. Then we have this FAQ section, and you can see here we have a beautiful FAQ section. Then finally we have a simple footer. And another amazing thing is that this website is fully mobile responsive. So if I show you in the mobile view, you can see everything fit perfectly. Now here we have a menu. So if I click here, it will open our sidebar. You can say here we have some nav links, and you can see how smooth it is opening and closing. And here you can see our heading, everything fit perfectly. Our image also fit perfectly with the viewport height, and you can see this is our slider. Then we have this what we do section, our pricing section, client review, and FAQ. Everything fit perfectly. If I show you in the iPad devices, you can see in iPad it also fit perfectly. So it's fully responsive in every devices. So this is our web application that we are going to build in this project video. So in this tutorial, I am going to teach you everything from scratch. I'm going to teach you how you can set up your Next.js project with Tailwind CSS, TypeScript, and Shadcn. I'm going to show you how you can structure your file, how you can create a reusable component, how you can use APIs. I'm going to show you how you can create sliders, how you can make your website mobile responsive, and finally I'm going to teach you how you can deploy your project in live server. Here you can see this project is running on the live server. So there is a lot of things that you are going to learn in this video. So I encourage you to watch the full tutorial, and the source code of this project will be given in the description. And if you have any question related to this project, you can ask me in the comment section. So now, without wasting any time, let's start building this project. Now, we are going to set up our project. So for this, I'm going to create a new folder inside my PC, and I'm going to name it AI image YT. And then I'm going to open this using my Visual Studio Code. And in Visual Studio Code, I'm going to open a new terminal. And here I'm going to first install our Next.js. So for this, I'm going to use npx create next app at the rate latest, and I'm going to use a dot slash so that all the packages are installed in this folder. Then I'm going to hit enter, and we are going to use Y to proceed, and we are going to use the TypeScript, we are going to use ESLint, we are going to use Tailwind CSS. We do not need the source directory. We are going to use the app router, and the turbo pack is new in Next.js 15, and this is for the faster development. So this is not something that will help you in your deploy project, but it will help you in faster development. So we are going to use the turbo pack, and we do not need to customize our import aliases. So no, I'm going to hit enter. So this will install all the necessary packages for initialize a Next.js project. So let's wait some time to complete the installation. So our installation is completed. Next what we need is Shadcn UI. So in the browser, if I type Shadcn and then go to their website, and here you can say they have different types of pre-built component that you can use in your project. So I'm going to open the docs and then the installation for the Next.js. So we already have the Next.js installed. So what we need is to add this. So in the npm, we are going to use npx shadcn latest init. So I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to open my terminal and I'm going to paste it here. So we are going to use the New York styling, the neutral, and we do not use the CSS variable here, so no. And here we are using the Next.js 15, that's why some packages need to install using the use force or use legacy period dependencies. So we are going to use use force here. So just click enter. So the installation is completed. Now let's go through all the file and folder that generated here. So first we have tsconfig.json, so we do not need to do anything here. Then we have tailwind config.ts. So here what we are going to do is we are going to remove this extended part because we do not need it. So I'm going to remove it and hit save. Then we have this readme file, post css, package.json, next config, and we do not need to do anything here. Then we have this public where we have our images, and then here it generated a lib folder, and then we have this util.ts. This is generated because of the Shadcn UI, and then we have this app which is our main folder. Here we have a global.css. Here you can see they have some classes. So for the font we are going to remove this because we are going to use our Google font here, and I'm going to hit save. Then we have this layout. So what is layout? Layout is the overall wrapper of our project. So I'm going to explain it later. So let's go to the page.tss. So this is the main page. When you go to the localhost 3000, this page will appear to the screen. So here I'm going to use a shortcut to generate a component boilerplate, and then I'm going to name it homepage. So if you're wondering how I generated this component boilerplate using this shortcut, so for this you need to install a extension, and the extension is this one. So ES7 React Redux React Native Snippet. By installing this package you can use the shortcut. So now let's go to here and hit save. And here first let's add some tailwind class name. So text 5xl, and let's say text red 950. Let's run our project to check if our tailwind is working properly or not. So I'm going to use npm run it. Here you can see it's using the turbo pack for the deployment development, which is faster. So now I'm going to open my browser and go to the localhost 3000. So here you can see we have our home page with red text and larger font size. That means our tailwind is working properly. Next, we're going to check if our Shadcn is working properly or not. So for that, go here, and then we are going to add the button here. So if I show you the button, so here you can see they have different types of button to use. So this is the secondary button, destructive button, outline button. So we are going to add this button. So let's go to the top here, and we are going to use the npm. So I'm going to copy this, and then here I'm going to split the terminal, and here I'm going to paste it and hit enter. So this will add button to our project. So again we need to use the use force. So I'm going to hit enter. So the button is added successfully. Now if you check here we have a component folder, and inside this we have a UI folder, and inside this UI we have this button. So this is the Shadcn button that is added here. So here you can see they have different types of variant, like default variant, destructive variant, outline, secondary, ghost, and they have the different types of styling. So if you want, you can create your own variant by using something like my button, and then you can add your styling here. This will add it to the button, and this is amazing because you can customize your button further. So we are not going to do any customization here. The default is okay for us. So now let's go to the page, and here let's remove this class name because we do not need it here, and inside this we are going to add a button. So we are going to use button which is coming from our components UI button, and let's say that Shadcn UI, and let's add the first. If I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have this Shadcn UI button which looks amazing. Let's add some padding so that you can see it more clearly. So class name P8. Now if I hit save, so here you can see we have our Shadcn UI button. Now if I copy this, and let's add different types of variant here. So if the variant, let's add a destructive variant here, and then we can add a different size here. For the size, let's add large. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see now we have a large button with red background color, which is amazing. That means our Shadcn is also working properly. So now I'm going to remove both of this, and let's just say home page, and let's remove this class name because we do not need it here, and hit save, and also remove this. Now hit save. Next, let's go to the layout folder. So now I'm going to explain you what is layout folder. So for this, I'm going to add a text navbar and a footer here. So this layout is the overall wrapper. So if you add something here and here, this will add it to all the pages that you are going to create in this project. So now if I go to our project, here you can see we have navbar and footer. So if you have different types of page like localhost 3000 slash about us, then this navbar and footer will also be there in our about page. So that means our layout is working as a wrapper for our project. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you the basic routing in Next.js. So for this, we're going to create some of the example routing here. So first one is our local host 3000. So we already have localhost 3000. Then we are going to create local host 3000 slash product. Let's say you have a product page. Then we are going to add a local host 3000 slash product slash product details. Now we have a nested route, and then finally we are going to check a product slash product details slash the product ID. So this one is the dynamic routing. So I'm going to show you both static and dynamic routing. So to create this route, so localhost 3000 slash product, what we need to do is we need to create a folder here, and the folder name will be exactly like this. So product. So let's use product. And inside this you have to create a page.tsx, and it is important, it must be page.tsx, otherwise it will not work. Then I'm going to use rafc and let's say about and hit save, and you can see the folder name you enter here will be added to your url. So now if I go to our project and go to slash about and hit enter, so it says that the page is not exist, so it's not about, so sorry for the mistake, this is the product. So let's rename this to product. So now if I go to our project and if I go to the localhost 3000 slash product, and now you can see we have the navbar and footer because we added these two in our layout. Now you can understand what is layout. Layout is the overall wrapper of our project. And we also have this product because we are in the product page. So this is our routing, basic routing, and we have this navbar and footer also. So next, if you want to create the nested one like this one, so localhost 3000 slash product details. So for this I am going to remove this page.tsx. So let's delete this, and here we are going to create another folder, nested folder, because we have this product details in our url. So in the product we are going to create a nested product details folder, and then inside this we are going to create a page.tsx, and I'm going to use rfc to create the component boilerplate, and let's name it product details. Now if I hit save and go to our project, and if I go to first the localhost 3000, now we're going to go to the localhost 3000 slash product details. Now if I hit enter, now you can see we are in the product details page, and we also have the navbar and footer because of our layout. Amazing. Now let's go back to the localhost 3000, and then we are going to implement our dynamic routing. So for this I'm going to remove the page.tsx, and here we need to go to the product, then product details. Then inside the product details, when what we need to do is we need to create another folder, and this time we need to use this third bracket, and inside this third bracket we are going to write the property that we are going to receive, like the id, and then I'm going to hit enter, and then inside this I'm going to create a page.tsx, and I'm going to use rfc to create the component boilerplate, and let's say product details, and let's use a random id for now, which is 12. Now if I hit save and go to our project, and then if I go to the localhost 3000 slash product slash product details slash id 12, and if I hit enter, now you can see we are in the product details page and we have the id. Now the question is, this is static id which is written by me, but how we can get the id from our url? So for this we are going to use params. So here we are getting a params, and now in Next.js 15 param is an asynchronous operation. So to get the id we need to use async wait here, so I'm going to use async, and here we are going to get the id from awaiting, so await params dot id. Now we are going to add this id here. So now if I hit save and go to our project, so let's go to the another one, like let's say if the id is 200. Now you can see here we have 200. Now you can extracting your data from your URL, the ID from your URL. Amazing. So now let's go to our localhost 3000 and go to our project. So here it's complaining because of the TypeScript. We do not add the types here, which is not important here because I am teaching you the routing here. You will learn about the TypeScript throughout this project. So now you learn about the basic routing in Next.js. You learn about the static routing as well as the dynamic routing. Now I am going to remove this. So now let's remove all of these. And in Next.js, there is another concept which is route groups. So for example, if you want to create a folder, but you don't want to add this in your URL, so how can you do that? For example, if you want that you are going to have a localhost 3000 slash some ID, for example 129, or you can say any name. So this is your URL, but this is not exist here. But what you want to do is you want to create a folder, so that is not going to add it in the URL. So for this you are going to use this curly braces, and then you are going to need to make the name. So for example, if you're creating a marketing page but you don't want to add the marketing in your URL, so you can just add these route groups. So now if I inside this, if I create another folder like product, and then if I create a page.tsx, and if I use RAFC to create the component boilerplate, and let's say product, and if I hit save, now it's marking, so just ignore the type mistake. So now in general you can think like that, it will be localhost, so localhost 3000 slash marking slash product, but did that not the case? So if I go to our project, so you just need to go to the product, and as you can see you are in the product page. So the marking folder here is ignored, and that's how you can organize your project more clearly. So I hope you now have a better understanding of how Next.js routing works in the latest version of Next.js 15. Now you have a solid understanding of the static routing as well as the dynamic routing. So now I am going to remove this. So that's it. Now we have this homepage layout and global CSS. Now we are going to customize our font and metadata. So here you can see they have some local font, but we are not going to use this. So we are going to use Google font here, and from Google font we are going to import Roboto. And then here what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a font variable, and we're going to use our Roboto, and then we are going to call it, and then we have to pass some font weight. So first one is 100, then we have 300, 400, 500, then 700, and finally 900. And next we have the subsets, and the subset will be Latin. And then here we're going to remove all of these, and here we will have font dot class name. We are also going to add a background here for our entire application, and the background will be bg gray 900. Now if I hit send, hit save and go to our project, now you can see we have this background, dark background. Then here you can see the metadata. Metadata is very important for SEO purposes. So here we are going to change the title here. The title will be AI image generation. And let's add the description of AI image generation using Next.js 15. Now if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see we have this AI image generation, and if I show you the font, so if I hover here you can see the font is Roboto. So our font and metadata is customized. Next we need some images. So for this, in the public I'm going to create a folder called images, and here I'm going to copy some of the images that we are going to use. And don't worry, these images will be given to the starter file, and the starter file is in the description. So check out the starter file to get these images. So I'm going to copy it here. So these are some of the images that we are going to use in this project. So next what we are going to do is, in the component we are going to create a helper folder. So here we are going to add our helper component, and then we are going to add another one which is home. So in home we are going to add our home page related component, and here first I'm going to create a home.tsx, and I'm going to use rfc to create the component boilerplate, and here I'm going to add a class name of overflow will be hidden, so we don't want any overflow in our project. And then this home, I'm going to add this in our page. So here I'm going to add our home component. That's it. Now if I go to our project, here you can see we just have our home. And then in the layout, let's remove the navbar and footer. Here we are going to replace this with our actual navbar and footer. So now what we're going to do is, we're going to add all our homepage related component here, like the hero section, the slider, the client review, and then this home is added to our page. That's how our page component will be neat and clean. So this is our setup. Our setup is completed. Now we are going to build the navbar. So if I show you the navbar in the deployed version, here you can see we have a logo, some nav links with hover effect, and two buttons. So to build it, I'm going to create a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name it navbar. Then inside this tab, I'm going to create fast nav.tsx. This is for the large screen navbar. So I'm going to use rfc to create the component boilerplate. Then I'm going to create a mobile nav.tsx. This is for the mobile navigation bar. Then I'm going to create another one which is responsive nav.tsx. This one will contain our navbar and mobile navbar, also the functionality to make it responsive. So I'm going to use rfc to create the component boilerplate, and then here inside this div I'm going to add the nav and mobile nav. So now if I hit save and go to our project, and here you can see just home. So where do we add our responsive nav? So obviously we are going to add this inside our layout. In the layout, first we will have our navbar, not nav, responsive nav. So this one. Now if I hit save and if I go to our project, here you can see we have nav, mobile nav, and then home. So first let's go to the nav.tsx, and here for the first div we are going to add a class name of flex, we're going to use items of center. Justify will be between, height will be 12 vh. Then we have fixed, so we're going to make it fixed. Z index will be 100, width will be full, mx will be auto. We're going to use a transition all and a duration of 200 milliseconds. So we are using the transition because here you can see first the navbar doesn't have any background color. So if I start scrolling, it changes background color. So that's why we are using a transition so that the change happens in smooth way. So now, then inside this div we have a h1, and the h1 will have the logo, and this h1 will have a class name of text3xl. Text color will be white, font will be bold, margin left will be 8, and medium and large screen margin left will be 16. Now if I hit save, so this is our logo, and let's add a comment here. So this one is our logo. Next we have another div with class name of, in medium screen this one will be flex, items will be center, spaces will be 10, and in smaller devices it will be hidden. So inside this div we will have our nav links. So for the nav links, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a constant at the root level. So constant folder, and here we are going to add our constant variable and data. So constant.ts. Here I am going to export a const of nav links, and this one will be an array of object which contains an id of 1, then a url. For now this one will be just hash. Then we will have a label. So label, the label will be home, and next we have id of 2, and the label will be image. Then we have id 3, and the label will be blog. Then we have id of 4, and this one will be shop. And finally we have contact. So this one will be id of 5, url will be hash, and label will be contact. Now if I hit save, so this is our nav links. Now by doing this you can easily add or remove any nav links you want from here. You do not need to go and manually delete every link. You can just change it here. So now let's go to our home, our nav, and here in the nav links we'll have a curly braces with our nav links, and we're going to import this from our constant. Then we're going to map through it. We'll get an individual link, and then we're going to return a link from next link. And here we have to pass the key. The key will be link dot id. Then we have to pass a href, and href will be link dot url. And then inside this we will have a p tag with link dot label. Now you can see how easy it is to add new links here, and you do not need to repeat the same styling for every links, for home, for about, from blog, etc. So now if I go here, you will see we have our nav links, but they are not properly styled. So let's style the links. So here we have a class name of relative text will be white, text will be base, width will be feet, this one will be block, and we're going to use after will be block, and after the content will be empty array, so empty content. Then in the after we have absolute positioning, in after we have height of 3 pixel, in after we have bg yellow 400, in after the width will be full, the after scale x will be 0, in after hover scale x will be 100, and in after we are going to add a transition, and the after duration will be 300 millisecond, and in after the origin will be center. So now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our nav links with this beautiful hover effect, and it looks amazing. So just like these nav links. So after the nav link, after this div, we have buttons. So we have buttons and icons. So here we have a div with class name of flex, items will be center, SpaceX will be 5, in medium screen SpaceX will be 8, then text will be white, margin right will be 8, and in medium and large screen margin right will be 16. And then inside this div we will have a shopping cart icon, and this one is coming from Lucid React. So when you install the Shadcn, you have access to this Lucid React icons. So you can see it's importing from the Lucid React. So now here we have the shopping cart, and this one will have a class name of cursor pointer, then width will be 6, height will be 6, and I'm going to copy it again, and this one will be search icon. So we're going to use search from Lucid React, and then we have another one. This one is the menu, burger menu. So we're going to use menu icon, and now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our shopping card icon, a search icon, and then this menu icon. But the menu will be hidden in large screen and will be visible in the mobile devices. So what we are going to do is we are going to hidden it in medium and large screen. This one will be hidden. Now if I go to our project, so you can see the menu is hidden, and now you can see this is our desktop or large screen navigation bar. So if I inspect and if I go to the smaller devices, so in mobile devices you can see in mobile devices the nav links are hidden and we have this burger menu. Next we are going to design our mobile navigation. So let's go to the mobile nav, and then inside this div we will have our nav links. So here we have a div with class name of text will be white, this one will be fixed, justify will be center, this one will flex will be in the column direction, then we have height of screen, we're going to use transform then transition all, duration will be 1000 millisecond, width will be full, bg will be gray 950, and space y will be 6, z index will be 1050, and top will be 0. Now if I hit save, and then inside this we are going to add our nav link, which is coming from our constant, and we are going to map through it. We'll get the individual link, and then we are going to return a link from next link, and here we are going to pass the key, which will be link dot id, and each ref will be link dot url. Then inside this div we will have a p tag with our link dot label, and this p tag will have a class name of text white, width will be feet, text will be excel, then margin left will be 12, border bottom will be 1.5 pixel, and padding bottom will be 1, border will be white, and smaller devices text will be 30 pixel. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our mobile navbar. Here we have the nav links, and now we need a cross icon here to close the sidebar. So after the nav links we will have a, so here we will have a close icon. So here we will have a X icon from Lucid React, and here we will have a class name of absolute, top will be 0.7 gram, then we have right will be 1.4 ram, and smaller devices width will be 8, smaller devices height will be 8, otherwise width will be 6 and height will be 6. Now if I hit save, and here you can see we have our close icon, which is amazing. So next we are going to add the logic for make it responsive. So for this let's go to the responsive nav, and here first I am going to create a state variable which is show nav, and set show nav, and we are going to use state, and this one will be false. Here if I save, you can see we will have a error. So if I go here, it's a error. So you are importing a component that needs use state. This React hooks only works in a client component. To fix, mark the file with the use client directive. So in Next.js, every component is by default server component, and in server component you cannot use hooks. So to use hooks, you have to convert your component in client component. So here we are using a hooks, that's why we need to convert this into a client component. So to do this we are going to use client at the top. So now if I go to our project, you can see the error is gone. Awesome. Next I'm going to create two functions. One is open nav handler, which will be set our show nav to true, and another one will be close nav handler. This one will set our show nav to false. Now we have to pass these functions as a props of our nav and mobile nav. So for the nav, we are going to pass our open nav, and we are going to pass open nav handler, and in the mobile nav, we are going to pass show nav, which will be our show nav, and we are also going to pass the close nav, which is close nav handler. Now here it shows a warning because of the TypeScript. So we are sending some props. So we need to receive the props in our nav and mobile nav and give them the proper type. So let's go to the nav. At the top, we're going to create a type props. You can name it anything. I name it props. You can name it nav props, and you can name it anything you want. So here what we are receiving an open nav props, and the open nav is a function that returns void, so doesn't return anything. So now we are going to pass it here, so props, and we are going to import the open nav. Now when we click on the menu icon, so here in the on click, we are going to run our open nav. Now let's go to the mobile nav, and at the top we are receiving a type props, and here we are receiving a show nav, which is type of boolean, and we are also receiving a close nav, which is type of a function that returns void. Now we are going to pass this here prop. We are going to import the close nav and show nav. Now when we click on the cross icon, we are going to close the navbar. So in the on click, we are going to call our close nav. Now hit save, and now based on the show nav, we are going to show our sidebar or hide our sidebar. So let's add a style here. So const nav open. So we are going to check if the show nav is true. If the show nav is true, then we are going to translate in y direction to 0. That means we are going to show the navbar. Otherwise, we are going to use translate y minus 200%. That means we are going to hide the navbar, mobile navbar. So now we have to add this in our div, and to do this we have to convert this into a template literal so that we can add our variable, so dynamic variable. So here we are going to add our nav open. So now if I hit save, now let's go to our project, and here if I click, you can see the navbar open and close. Awesome. You can see how smooth it is. It smoothly comes to the screen and smoothly close. Awesome. So our responsiveness is working perfectly. So in the iPad devices, you can see it fit perfectly. Now one thing that is missing is this changing background color in the scroll. So for this, go to your navbar, and at the top we are going to convert this into a client component using use client, and here we are going to create a const navbg set navbg, and we are going to use state, and initially this one will be false. Now we are going to use effect, and there we have the dependency array, and in the use effect we are going to create a handler function, and the handler function, inside this we are going to check if window dot scroll y, scroll in the y direction, so scroll y is greater than or equal 90, then we are going to set our navbg to true, then we are going to show the background color. But if the window dot scroll y is less than 90, so less than 90, then we are going to set our navbg to false, so we are not going to show any background. Then what we are going to do is, in the window we are going to add event listener, and in the scroll event we are going to call our handler. So when you scroll, this handler function will be called. Now in use effect we have to remove the event listener in the cleanup function, so we're going to return an arrow function, and I'm going to copy this and paste it here. So instead of the add event listener, we're going to add remove event listener. So that's it. So now based on this navbg, we are going to show the background, otherwise not. So here I'm going to create a constant called bg style, and if the navbg is true, then we are going to show bg gray 900, otherwise 900, and we are also going to show a shadow md, and otherwise nothing. So that's our bg style. Now we are going to pass this here, so we are going to make this a template literal syntax. We are going to remove this, and here we are going to add our bg style. Now if I hit save, now let's add some height so that we can see the scroll event. So let's hide 200 pixel. Now if I hit save and go to our project, and if I start scrolling, you can see, so in the deployed one, so let's reload the page, and you can see it's changing its background color and shadow. Here you can see it's hard to see, but you can see it's here. So this functionality also working properly. Now let's remove the height here, and now let's check our navbar once again. So this is our logo, our nav links button, and in the mobile devices, let's see, in the mobile devices we have this menu. If I click here, the sidebar will open and it will close. Amazing. So everything works properly. So our navbar is completed. Now we are going to build the hero section. So if I show you the hero section, here you can see we have this beautiful gradient heading, a subheading, a input box for the prompt, and some popular tag. So first I'm going to create this hero section, and then I'm going to implement the image generation. So for this I'm going to create a new folder inside my home, and I'm going to name it hero. And inside this I'm going to create a file called hero.tsx, and I'm going to use RAFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this inside our home. So here we will have our hero section. Now if I hit save and if I go to our project, and here you can see we have a text hero. So now in the hero, the first div have a class name of width will be 95%, mean height will be screen, so minimum height will be screen. This one will be a relative positioning, mx will be auto, margin top will be 20 vh, background, so we do not need any background, so that's it. Now if I go to our project, so here you can see the text is here now, the hero text. Then inside this div we have the content, so the content, and here first we have another div with class name of, this one will be a relative as well, z index will be 10, text wide, flex, flex will be in the column direction, items will be center, justify will be center. Now inside this div we have a h1, and inside this h1 we have a text of create beautiful image with, then we have a break tag, And then we have artificial intelligence. So that's it. Now if I go to our project, so here you can see we have our text, create beautiful image with artificial intelligence. Now this h1 will have a class name of text to excel. Then we have in smaller and larger screen text will be 4 excel. In medium screen text will be 5 excel. In large screen text will be 6 excel. In extra large text will be 7 excel. Now font will be bold and text will be center. Now if I hit save, now you can see we have our heading, but we don't have the gradient background. So let's go to our h1, and here now we have bg of gradient center. Then we have bg of gradient 2, bg gradient to r, that means to right. Then we have from orange 300. Then we have 2. Then we have plain 500. And bg clip will be text, and text will be transparent. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so now you can see we have this beautiful gradient background color which looks amazing. So just like this one. So after this we have a small subheading. So let's go to our project. So after the h1 we have a p tag. So I'm going to copy that text from our deployed one. So let's copy this. So copy this and paste it here, and this p tag will have a class name of margin top will be 3. Then we have text of small. In medium screen text will be base, font will be semi bold, text center not clip, text will be center, and text color will be gray 300, not green 300, gray 300. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our small subheading which looks amazing. Next we have this input box with generate button. So after the p tag we have our prompt input box. So here we have a div with class name of height will be 11. In medium screen height will be 16, width will be 95%, smaller and large screen width will be 90%. Then in medium screen width will be 80%. In large screen width will be 70%, and in extra large width will be 60%. Background will be white. Then we have rounded of LG. Margin top will be 12. PX will be 2. In medium screen PX will be 6. This one will be flex. Items will be center and justify between. And inside this div we first have our input. Input type will be text, and then we have a placeholder of generate your dream image. Then this input have a class name of height will be full, rounded will be LG, outline will be none. Then we have width will be full, text will be black, this one will be a block, flex will be 1, in the placeholder text will be extra small, and in small and large devices the placeholder text will be base. Now if I hit save, and now if I go to our project, here you can see we have our input box where we can type our prompt, and here you can see we have the placeholder generate your dream image. So that's awesome, just like this one. Then we need this generate button. So after the input we have a button, so we are going to use our Shadcn button, and this one will be generate. And here for the button we are going to define the variant, and the variant will be default. You can skip this. By default is this one will be the variant default. And then we have the size, and we are going to use large icon, large button, and that's it. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have this generate button, which looks amazing. Next we have this popular tag section. So for this, after the button, so after this div we are going to have our tags, and here we will have a div with class name of flex, items will be center, then margin top will be 6, space x will be 4, flex will be wrap, then space y will be 3. Now inside this, first we have a p tag with the text of popular tag. Then after this p tag we will have a button, and the button text will be creative, and the variant will be secondary. So now we have 4 more. I'm going to copy this. The second one will be hyper reality. Then we have steam punk. Then we have animation. Then we have business. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our text, which looks amazing. And here you can see our Navbar with this background, and everything looks perfect, just like this one. Now if I inspect, so you can see in mobile devices everything fit perfectly, and we have our sidebar menu, and in the iPad devices you can see in iPad it also fit perfectly. And here we have some space, and this space is for the image that we are going to generate. So this image will be shown here. So our hero section is completed. Now we are going to create the functionality to generate image based on your prompt. So first let's go to our project. So here we need Axios for the API request, and we are also going to use toaster. So if I show you, so we are going to use this one, this sonar, to show the toast message. So here you can see if I click here, it will show a toast message. So we are going to use this to show our user that the image is generated successfully, or if any error, we are going to show the error message as a toast. So we are going to use this. So for this, let's first add this. So copy this and paste it here and hit enter. This will add sonar to our project, and we also need Axios for the API request. If you want, you can use the built-in fetch in your project. So here I am going to use force. Now it's completed. Then I am going to install Axios. It's completed. Then go to your layout, and here we are going to add our toaster from @components UI sonar. That's it. Now let's go to our hero section. Next, we need to store our prompt written by the user. So that's why I'm going to first convert this into a client component using use client, and then here I'm going to create some state variable. So first one is prompt and set prompt, and we're going to use state, and initially this one will be an empty string. Then we are going to create another one for storing our image. So image and set image. We're going to use state also, and this one will be our generated image. We are going to store our generated image here. Then another one we are going to manage here is our loading state. So loading and set loading, and use state, and initially this one will be false. That's it. Then I'm going to create a function which is handle image generation. This one will be an async function. So that's it. Now this is our function, this is our state variable. Next, go to your input box. So this is the input box here. Here first the value will be our prompt, and then here we are going to add a on change, and we will get the event, and we are going to set our prompt to e dot target dot value. That's it. Now we will have our prompt here inside this prompt. Next, to generate image, we are going to use an API. So for this, we are going to use Rapid API. And Rapid API is a collection of a lot of different types of APIs that you can use to build different types of projects. So I'm going to search for Rapid API, and I'm going to open their website. Then you need to sign up, and it's completely free. So sign up using your Google account, or if you want you can use your GitHub account also. So I'm going to use my Google account. So here I have to put some of my information. So I submitted my basic information here. Now I am in the dashboard. Here I'm going to search for text to image, and if I hit enter, here you can see we have different types of API that we can use to generate image. So here I am going to use this one. So AI text to image generator API. So click here, and I'm going to put this link in the description so that you can easily get the API. So here you can see we have text to image, and here let's select JavaScript and Axios. So first you need to subscribe to use this API. So click here to subscribe to text. Then you can use the free one. Here you can see the 10 requests per month. So you can click here and then subscribe. So here click here. So the subscription is completed. Next, what you need to do is you just need to copy this option. So copy this option and paste here. And inside this, first I'm going to set our loading to true. So when we start the API call, we are going to set our loading to true. So this is our options, and here you can see the data, then input. So here in this input, we are going to add our prompt. So the input will be our prompt entered by the user. So that's it. Next, what we are going to do is we are going to create a try catch block, and finally, so if try and catch, we are going to finally set our loading to false. That's it. Now in the try block, we are going to create a response. So response, we are going to await, and we are going to use Axios. So we are going to import Axios. So import Axios from Axios, and here we are going to dot request, and then we are going to pass the options. Then after the request, we are going to set our image to response dot data dot URL. So here add a optional chaining, and then we're going to show a success message using our toast, which is coming from Sonar. So toast dot success, and this one will be image generated successfully. That's it. And then in the error case, so if anything happens here, so first we are going to give this a type of unknown, and then here we are going to check if Axios dot is Axios error, and we are going to pass our error, and then and so and operation error dot response. Then we are going to show a toast message, so toast dot error, and we are going to show error dot response dot data dot message. Else we are going to show a toast message, so toast dot error and unexpected error occurred. occurred. So we have proper error handling here. So that's it. So this is our handle image generation, and when we click on this generate button, so in this generate button we are going to call our, in the on click we are going to call our handle image generation. That's it. Next we need to use this image and loading. So after this div, the popular text div, and after this div we are going to show loading and image. So here we are going to check if loading is true, then we are going to show a div with class name of margin top will be 8, this one will be flex in the column direction, and items will be center. Then inside this div, so sorry, this div doesn't have any class name. Inside this div we will have a loader which is coming from our Lucid React, and then this loader have a class name of animate spin and margin top of 6. So these are loading state. And then if there is an image, then here we will have a div, and this div will have a class name of margin top of 8 flex. Flex will be in the column direction and items will be center. And then inside this div we are going to use our image tag. Here we are not going to use the Next.js image because this will cause an error because of the host. So we are going to use our normal image, and here the source will be the image, the alt will be, let's say, AI image. Then for the class name, this one will be max width of full, height will be 500 pixel, rounded will be LG, and shadow will be LG. And the loading will be lazy. That's it. Here we have some ESLint error, not error, ESLint warning that we should use the Next.js image component, but I'm going to disable this for now because we want this image component here. So after the image, we will have a button. So this button will be for download. So download. This button will have a class name of margin top of 4, margin bottom of 4, background will be orange 500, in hover background will be orange 800. That's it. Now we are going to create the download functionality. So for this, let's go to the top. So after that, we will have a const handle download image. This one will be an arrow function, and inside this we are going to use const link will be document dot create element, and we are going to create a tag, and then link dot target will be blank, link dot href will be image, and then link dot download, the file name will be generated image dot jpg, and link dot click. That's it. Now we're going to add this in our download button. So here in the on click, we're going to add handle download image. Now if I hit save, and let's go to our project. So reload the page, and here let's say a boy coding in his room. Let's generate this, and here you can see we have this loading, which is beautiful. And let's wait sometimes to generate the image. Here you can see we have our toast message like image generated successfully, and here you can see we have this beautiful image of a boy coding inside his room, and it's amazing. And now if I click here to download, it will open in a new page where you can save the image. Awesome. Now let's generate another image like a beautiful village with river. Now if I click here to generate, and it's generating another image. Here you can see another image is generated where is a beautiful place with a river. Awesome. So we successfully created the functionality to generate a image. Now if I show you the responsiveness, here you can see in mobile devices it fit perfectly, and in the iPad devices you can see it also fit perfectly. So finally you learn how to create a AI image generator using an API. So our image generation functionality is completed. Now we are going to build this recent image slider section. So here you can see we have a beautiful slider. So to build it, I'm going to create a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name it recent image. And inside this, I'm going to create a file called recent image.tsx. And then I'm going to use RAFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this inside my home. So after the hero, we are going to add our recent image. So now let's go to the recent image component, and in the project here you can see we have our recent image text. So now for the first div we have a class name of padding top of 16, padding bottom of 16, background will be gray 950. Now if I hit save and go to the project, here you can see we have a different background, and here we have the text. Now in the deployed version you can see we have a heading. So for the heading I am going to create a separate component so that we can use the heading later if we need it. So for this I am going to create a helper component here called section heading.tsx, and I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate. And in the section heading we're going to receive some props. So here I'm going to use type props, and here we are going to receive a heading which is type of string, and then we are going to pass it here. So props. Now we are going to import our heading, and then here the div will have a class name of width will be 80%, then mx will be auto. Now inside this div we have a h1 with our heading, and this h1 will have a class name of text to excel. In large screen text will be 3XL, then font will be bold, text color will be white. And after this we will have a p tag with some random text. So this is the random text. I'm going to copy it from our deployed version. You can use anything you want here. And this p tag will have a class name of text small. In smaller devices text will be base. In medium screen text will be large, font will be medium, margin top will be 2, text will be gray 200. Now if I hit save, and now let's go to our component recent image, and here inside this div we will have our heading. So heading, and here we are going to have a section heading, and this section heading we have to pass some props. So we're going to pass the heading will be explore our recent image. That's it. Now if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see we have our beautiful section heading. Next, what we have is the slider. So for the slider, I am going to create a separate component so that we have separate component for each, and we can easily maintain this component and reuse it. So let's go to our project. Here I'm going to create a file called image slider.tsx, and I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate. And here after the section heading, we'll have our slider. So here we have a div with class name of width will be 90%, in medium screen width will be 80%. Then we have image of auto and margin top of 16. Then inside this div we have our image slider. So image slider. Now if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see we have our image slider text. Now for the slider we are going to use a npm package, and the npm package is react multi carousel. So if I go to their website, their npm, here you can see they have some demo and they have the details documentation. If you want, you can learn more about this package. And here you can see they have a huge weekly downloads. That means this package is very popular. So now I'm going to copy their npm script and I'm going to paste it here to install this package. And then I'm going to open my image slider. And then what we need to do is first we need to import carousel and the styling. So I'm going to copy this and paste it at the top. And another thing is we have to convert this into a client component. So we are going to use client. Then we need the responsive. So I'm going to copy this responsive constant from here. Copy this and paste it here, and I'm going to change some of the property. So for the desktop, the max will be 3000 and the mean will be 1324. The items will be 3 and we want to slide 1 items. And in the tablet, the max will be 1324 and the mean will be 764. And the items will be 2 and we want to slide 1 item. And in mobile, the mean will be 764, max will be 764 and mean will be 0. And we want 1 items and we want 1 item to slide. So that's it, that's our responsive variable. Then copy this carousel with this all the customization, and I'm going to paste it here, and let's close carousel. And here the sweepable and draggable, we do not need it. We do not need the show dots. We need the responsiveness. The SSR can be true, the infinite will be true, autoplay will be true, autoplay speed will be 5000 milliseconds, that means 5 seconds. Then the keyboard control can be true and we do not need the remaining, so I'm going to delete this. And another thing that we need is the arrow, so the arrow will be true. That's it. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an array of the images. So what I'm going to do is our image URL will be slash images slash r1.jpg, and this will goes on to r6. So I'm going to do is first I'm going to start a curly braces, then I'm going to create an array where we have r1.jpg, then we have r2.jpg, then r3.jpg, r4.jpg, r5.jpg, and finally r6.jpg. This is just a simple trick to create the slider with low code. And then I'm going to map through it, and I will get the image and the index, and then I'm going to return a div, and the key will be index, and we have a class name of padding 4. Then inside this div we have another div with class name of height will be 400 pixel, and position will be relative positioning. And inside this div we will have the image from next image, and here we will have the source, and the source will be, and we are going to use template literal, source will be slash images slash then the image, so this image, then the alt will be, let's say, image, and then we have a class name of object cover and rounded md. Now if I hit save and let's go to our project, so here we have an error is missing width property. So here we're going to use fill. So now if I hit save, so now you can see we have our image with this slider, and this looks amazing. So we can slide through from left to right or right to left, and if we wait 5 seconds it will auto slide. So here you can see it slides automatically. So it's look like this one, just like this one. So now if I show you the responsiveness, so if I inspect and if I select mobile devices, and you can see in mobile devices it fit perfectly. We have our section heading, then we have this image slider, amazing. And if I show you in the iPad devices, here you can see it also looks amazing. So our recent image slider is completed. Next, we are going to build the About Us section. So here you can see in the About Us section, we have a huge image and some text content. So this is a very simple section. So for this, I'm going to create a new folder inside my home, and I'm going to name it About. And then inside this, I'm going to create a file called about.tss, and I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this inside our home. So here we will have our about. Now in the about, the first div have a class name of padding top of 16, padding bottom of 16. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have different background here, and we have the text about. So just like this one. Then inside this, we have another div with class name of width will be 80%, mx will be auto. We're going to use grid calls will be 1 for small devices, in extra large grid calls will be 2, and we have gap of 10, and items will be center. Now inside this div we have first the image, so image, so this is the image div, and then we have content, so this is the content div. Now in the image div have a class name of, so class name of order will be 2, and in extra large order will be 1. So what we are going to do is, in smaller devices the image will be comes after the content, and in larger device the image will be the first item and the content will be second item. But in smaller devices, the image will be the second item and the content will be the first item. So now inside this div, we will have the image which is coming from next image, and then we have the source. The source will be slash images slash about dot jpg, and alt will be about, width will be 400, height will be 400, and we have a class name of rounded lg, and width will be full. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see our image is on the second order. So that's because we have to define the order in the content. So here the order will be, so first we have to declare the class name. The order will be 1 here, and in extra large the order will be 2. Now if I hit save, now you can see the image is in the correct position. Awesome. Now after completing the image part, then we have the content. So inside this div we have h1 with the text of what we do, and this h1 will have a class name of text gray 300, margin bottom will be 4, font will be semi bold, text will be lg, and the capitalize. After this h1 we have another h1, and this one will have the text of create your own AI business. This h1 will have a class name of text3xl. In smaller devices, text will be 4xl. In medium screen, text will be 5xl. In large screen, text will be 6xl, and font will be bold, text will be wide, and margin bottom will be 4. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our subheading, what we do, and then create your own AI business. So here we have the text easily also, so copy this and paste it here and hit save. So that's it, create your own AI business easily. Awesome. Now we have this subheading, so I'm going to copy this, and then here we will have a p tag, and I'm going to paste the random text, and then this one will have a class name of text gray 200, and margin bottom will be 8, text will be base. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our details. So you can say the summary. Next we have a button. So after the p tag, we'll have a button from our Shadcn, and the button text will be about us. And here we are going to add a class name of bg rows 500, width will be 36, and height will be 12, and text will be base and uppercase, and we are going to use the size of large. That's it. Now if I go to our project, here you can see we have our button, which is amazing. Now if I show you the responsiveness, and here you can see in the iPad devices the text in the first item and the image is the second item. And if I show you in the mobile devices, in mobile you can see it also fit perfectly. So our about us section is completed. Now we are going to build a pricing section. So if I show you the pricing section, here you can see we have some text content and two price cards. So to build it, I'm going to create a new folder inside my home and I'm going to name it price. And inside this, I'm going to create a price.tsx. And then I'm going to use RAFC to create the component boilerplate. And then I'm going to add this inside my home. So after the about, we'll have our price. Now if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see we have our text price. Now here for the first div, so go to the price section, and here for the first div we have a class name of padding top of 16, padding bottom of 16, bg will be gray 950, and then inside this div we have another div, and then this div have a class name of width will be 80%, mx will be auto, grid, grid calls will be 1, in extra large grid calls will be 2, gap will be 10, items will be center. Now inside this div we have another div, and then inside this div we have each one. So this is the content. So content, this each one will have a text of flexible and affordable. This each one will have a class name of uppercase, text color will be white, margin bottom will be 6, font will be bold. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have different background, and then we have this flexible and affordable text. So just like this one. Then we have this heading. So I'm going to copy this, and after the h1 we have another h1 with our heading, and this h1 will have a class name of text 3xl, in medium screen text will be 4xl, in large screen text will be 6xl, and font will be bold, in margin bottom will be 6, and text will be white. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our pricing heading. So just like this one, our pricing plans. Then we have this random text, so I'm going to copy it from here, and then after the h1 we will have a p tag with this random text. This p tag have a class name of text white, font will be medium, text opacity 70. Now if I hit save, and now you can see we have this subheading. Next we have this list of high quality services, 24/7 customer support and affordable rates. So for this, after the p we'll have another div with class name of margin top of 8. Then inside this div we have another div with class name of flex, items will be center, SpaceX will be 3, and margin bottom will be 3. Then inside this div we first have a icon, which is a check icon from Lucid React, and this check icon will have a class name of width 6, height will be 6, text will be green 500. Now if I hit save, and then we have a p tag with the text of high quality services. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our check icon and this text high quality services. So now the text will have a class name of text large, text color will be white, font will be semi bold, and text opacity will be 60. Now if I hit save, so here you can see we have our high quality services just like this one. We have two more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this tip two more time. The second one will be 24/7 customer support, and the last one will be affordable. So affordable rates. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have this high quality service, 24/7 customer support, and affordable rates. So just like this one, amazing. Next we have this two price card. So for this I'm going to create a separate component for the price card. So here I'm going to create a price card.tsf, and I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate. And then in the price, so after this div, so the content div will have the price card section or price card content, and here we will have a div with class name of grid calls will be 1, and in medium screen grid calls 2, gap will be 4. And now inside this div we have another div, and here we are going to use our price card, and we are going to pass some of the props in our price card. So first one will be the price. For the first one we have a price of 4. Then we're going to pass a user, the number of user that can use it. The user will be 1, and we're going to pass the type. So first one will be silver pack. Then I'm going to copy this tape one more time. The second one, the price will be 8, and the user will be 3, and it will be a golden pack. So golden pack. Now we have to receive this props. So in the price card at the top I'm going to define a type props, and here we are receiving a price of type string. Then we are receiving a type of string and a user of string. Now here I'm going to pass our props and then import the price, type, and user. Now I'm going to hit save. Now here for the first div we are going to give a class name of bg will be black, padding will be 8, rounded will be lg, then we have text center. Now inside this div we have a p tag with the type. The p tag will have a class name of margin top will be 12, margin bottom will be 2, text will be 3xl, text color will be white, font will be semi bold. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have silver pack and golden pack text. So just like this too. Then we have this great for private individuals. So I'm going to copy this, and after this p tag we have another p tag with this text, and this p tag will have a class name of text white. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have great private individual. So just like this one. Next you can see we have this separator. So for this separator we are going to use Shadcn UI. In the Shadcn If you go here, you will see they have a separator which separates some content. So I'm going to use this. So for this, let's copy the npm script, paste it here. You can create this manually. This is the easy part to create, but I'm going to show you how Shadcn can be used here. So I'm going to add our separator. So use the use force, the installation completed. So after this p tag, we're going to use this separator from components UI separator, and we're going to pass some of the class name of margin in the y direction will be 8, opacity will be 20. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our separator. Awesome. Next we have this price. So after the separator, we have a div with class name of text white, font will be semi bold, and text to excel. Now inside this div, we have a span with the dollar sign and then the price, and this span have a class name of text 5xl, and after this span we have slash mo, so per month. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have the price of 4 per month and this one is 8 per month. Next we have another separator, then some of the list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this separator and paste here, and I'm going to hit save. Now if I go here you can see we have another separator. Next we have this list of one user, unlimited project, and download prototypes. So after this separator, we have another div with class name of margin top will be 6, space y will be 3, text white, and text opacity will be 50. And inside this div we have a p. So first one will be our user, then the text user, then we have another p tag with unlimited projects, then we have another p tag with download prototypes. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have one user, unlimited projects, and download prototypes. Amazing. Next we have this button of get now. So after this div we will have another div with class name of margin top of 6, and then inside this div we will have our Shadcn button, and the text will be get now. In this button we are going to give the variant of secondary. That's it. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our button get now, so just like this one. And here this is small, so we are going to also give the size of LG. Now if I hit save, now it looks amazing, so just like this one. So now if I show you the responsiveness, so if I inspect, and in the mobile devices, you can see in mobile devices it fit perfectly, and if I show you in the iPad devices, in iPad you can see it also fit perfectly. So our pricing section is completed. Next we are going to build the client review section. So if I show you the client review section, here you can see we have a client review slider with some review and the profile of the user that give the review. So to build this, I'm going to create a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name it review. And inside this, I'm going to create a file called review.tsx, and I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate. Then I'm going to add this in my home. So after the price, we will have our review. Now if I hit save and go to our project, as you can see we have our text review. So now go to the review. The first div have a class name of padding top of 16 and padding bottom of 16. Then inside this div we'll have another div with class name of margin top will be 16, width will be 80%, image will be auto. Then inside this div we are going to create a separate component for the slider. So I'm going to create a file here called slider.tsx, and I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this here. So slider, that's it. Now in the slider we are going to use our React multi-carousel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my recent image and then image slider, and here I'm going to copy this import and the responsive variable here, and I'm going to paste it here, and we're going to change some of this. So the items will be one for both desktop, tablet, and also the mobile devices. That's it. Then what we are going to do is in the image slider I'm going to copy this carousel with this property because the property will be the same, and here I'm going to paste it and close the carousel. And then inside this, so another thing that is we have to convert this into a client component. So at the top we're going to use client. That's it. And now inside this carousel we'll have a div, and inside this div we're going to create another separate component for the review card. So I'm going to create review card.tsx, and I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add it here. So review card, and we need to pass some of the props in our review card. So the first one is the image. So the image will be slash images slash u1.jpg. Then we are going to pass the name of the person that gave the review. The first one is John Doe, and we're also going to pass a role, and this one will be engineer. Then we have two more, so I'm going to copy it two more time. If you have more you can add more card here. This one will be u2, this one will be u3. The second one, let's name it Jessica Doe, and the role will be content creator. Let's use here Jason Doe, and this one will be web developer. Web developer. Now we have to receive these props in our review card and give them the proper type. So I'm going to use type prop, and here we're receiving the image which is type of string. Then we have name which is type of string. Then we have role which is type of string, and now we're going to pass it here as a props. So we're going to pass the props, and here we are receiving the image, the name, the role. Now here for the first div we're going to give this a class name of flex. Items will be center, justify will be center, and flex will be in the column direction. Then inside this div we will have a quote icon. So this one will be QUOTE quote icon from Lucid React, and this icon will have a class name of width will be 10, height will be 10, text will be yellow 300. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here we have object prototype may only be object on null. So let's reload the page, and here you can see we have our quote icon, and we also have the sliding feature. Awesome. So next after the quote we have a p tag, with some random text. So here I am using random text. If you want, you can use the actual review text here. So I'm using some random text here, or what I can do is I can just copy from here and paste it here. So I think here we copy multiple one. So let's remove some of this. So that's it. Now let's add some class name here. So this one will be a class name of text center. Margin top will be 4. Text will be white. Text will be base. In medium screen, text will be large. In large screen, text will be Excel. Font will be semi-bold. Then we have text opacity of 80. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our review text, which looks amazing, just like this one. Next we have the user profile. So after the p tag, we have a div with class name of margin top will be 8, and then inside this div we have a h1 with the name. Then we have a p tag with the role, and then we have a image. So image from next image, and here we have the source, which is our image. Then we have a alt tag, which will be the name. Then we have height of 80 and width of 80, and we have a class name of margin top will be 6, rounded full, so rounded will be full, and mx will be auto, and this h1 will have a class name of text base. In medium screen, text will be 2xl, font will be bold, text color will be white, text will be center. Now this p tag will have a class name of text small. In medium screen, text will be large, font will be bold, text will be white, text center. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our user profile also with the profile picture, and this looks amazing just like this one. So let me show you the responsiveness. If I inspect and if I select mobile devices, here you can see in mobile devices it fit perfectly. If I show you in the iPad, in iPad you can see it also fit perfectly. So our user review section is completed. Next, we are going to build the FAQ section. So if I show you the FAQ section, here you can see we have an image and some FAQ question and answer. So for this, I'm going to create a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name it FAQ. And inside this, I'm going to create a FAQ.tsx. Then I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this inside my home. So here I'm going to add our FAQ. Now if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see we have the text FAQ. Now let's go to the FAQ.tsx, and in the first div we have a class name of padding top of 16, padding bottom of 16, bg gray will be 950, and hit save. And if I go to our project, here you can see we have the different background here. Now inside this div we have another div with class name of width will be 80%, mx will be auto, margin top will be 16, grid false will be 1, then we have a grid. In medium screen, grid calls will be 2, gap will be 10, items will be center. Now inside this div, we have another div for the image, and here we have an image from next image, and this image will have a source of slash images slash faq.png. The alt will be faq. Then we have a width of 500, height of 500. Now if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see we have our image, faq image. So next, so here we have the image, and then we have the card, the accordion card, or you can say FAQ card. So here we have another div, and here I am going to create a separate component for our FAQ card. So I'm going to create FAQ card.tsx. I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add it here. So FAQ card. That's it. Now in the FAQ card, what we are going to do is we are going to use our Shadcn. So in the Shadcn, if you go to the top, here you can see we have accordion component, and it's amazing and it's pre-built here. So we are just going to add it in our project. So I'm going to copy their npm and paste it here and hit enter. So this will add our accordion to our project. So we are going to use the force, and when it's installing, what we are going to do is I'm going to copy the code from here. So first we have to import this. So I'm going to copy it and then go to our code, and at the top I'm going to paste it. Then I'm going to copy this accordion and then paste it here, and we are going to change some of this. Here we are going to add the text of white, and then in the accordion trigger we are going to add a class name of, in medium screen text will be XL, and in large screen text will be 2XL. That's it. So I'm going to copy this and paste it for the second one. So this is it. Then this one, and I'm going to hit save. And then for the accordion content, we're going to add a class name of text large, and I'm going to copy it for all the accordion content. So here is another one, and this is another one. Now if I hit save, and here we have a ESLint error, so we can quickly fix it by replace the code with this code. So that's it. Now if I go to our project, so here you can see we have our accordion. If you want, you can change the content here, the question, the answer, but for now I am going to skip it. If you want, you can use this question answer, but I'm going to keep it here. Now if I show you the responsiveness, and here you can see in iPad devices it also working properly, our accordion is working properly, and in mobile devices it also fit perfectly. So here I think the font is not working properly, the large font. So if I go here, so we are going to remove this MD. Now if I hit save, now it looks good, but what we can do is we can reduce this font size. So in medium screen it will be text large, otherwise text base. Now let's copy this and replace it with this text large. Now if I hit save, and go to our project. Now it looks fine. So this is our mobile view. Let me show you the iPad view again. In the iPad mini, you can see it also fit perfectly. So our FAQ section is completed. Now we're going to build the footer. So if I show you the footer, so this is a very simple footer. We have a heading and then some address and contact information. So to build it, I'm going to create a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name it footer. And inside this, I'm going to create a file called footer.tsx. And then I'm going to use RAFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this in my layout. So in the layout, after the children, we are going to have our footer so that all page can have this footer attached to it. So now if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see we have our text footer. Now let's go and open the footer.tsx, and for the first div we have a class name of padding top of 16, padding bottom of 16, and bg will be black. Now if I go to our project, so here you can see we have black background. Then inside this div we have another div with class name of width will be 80%, mx will be auto, we're going to use grid calls will be 1. In smaller devices, grid calls will be 2. In large screen, grid calls will be 4. And gap will be 10. Items will be start. Then padding bottom will be 8. Border bottom will be 2. Then we have border of grain 900. And space y will be 6. And in small and large screen, space y will be 0. And I'm going to hit save. Now inside this div, first we have the first part. So here we have a div, and we're going to add a class name of call span 2. We're going to give this two part of our divided space. Now inside this div we have a p tag with the text we develop and create digital future, and this p tag will have a class name of text to excel. In smaller devices, text will be 3XL. In medium screen, text will be 4XL. And text color will be white. Width will be 80%. And font will be bold. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our we develop and create digital future. And here you can see we have our border. So just like this one. Next we have this address and contact. So let's go to our project. So this is the first part. Then we have the second part, and here we have another div, and inside this div we have a h1 with the text address. Then we have a p tag with the actual address. And then what we need is to style this element. So first the h1 have a class name of text excel, font will be bold, text color will be white, and margin top will be 6. And this p tag will have a class name of text white, and opacity will be 60, and margin top will be 4. And then this p tag will have a class name of text white, opacity will be 60. Now if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see we have our address, just like this one. Next we need the contact. So here we have a mistake, so the margin top will be, we do not need the margin top here, so that looks good. Here we have the error and we have some margin top. Now it looks good. And after this div we have the third part, so third part, and here we have another div, and inside this div we have a h1, so I'm going to copy this h1. This one will be the same, and the text will be contact. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have the contact. Then inside this div, after the h1 we have a p with email, and this p will have a class name of text white. Then we have opacity of 60 and margin top will be 4. After this p we have another p with our email, so info@gmail.com. This p will have a class name of text white, smaller devices, text excel, and text will be large, font will be bold, opacity will be 60. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our email and the email just like this one. And then I'm going to copy this to p tag and paste it underneath, and then here we have phone, and here the phone number. So let's add a random one. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see it looks like this one. Awesome. Next we have this copyright text, so I'm going to copy this, and then so after this div we have another div, and inside this we have the copyright text, and this div will have a class name of width will be 80%. Then we have mx of auto, text gray will be 300, and margin top will be 6. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our copyright text and everything looks like this one. Now if I inspect and show you the responsiveness, so in the mobile devices, you can see in mobile devices everything fit perfectly, and if I select iPad devices, in iPad it also fit perfectly. So our footer section is completed. Now we are going to add some animation and scroll animation in our project for more user attraction. So if I show you the deployed version, if I reload here, you can see we have animation, and when you scroll, we have scroll animation, which looks amazing. So now we are going to add this animation in our project. So to add this animation, we are going to use a npm package, which is AOS, animation on scroll. So this is a very popular library, you can say, to add scroll animation. So here you can see they have different types of animation: fade left, fade right, and flip, zoom, zoom in. They have a lot of different types of animation that you can add, and the best thing is you just need to add this data.ios property to your div to animate the content in the scroll. And they have different types of setting that you can use. So now I'm going to open their GitHub, and here you can learn more about this package, and they have very beautiful documentation to learn. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to install this. So I'm going to use npm install. So I'm going to copy this and go to our project, and here I'm going to paste it. Then I'm going to open my home.tsx. So here I'm going to configure our AOS. So for this I'm going to first convert this into a client component using the use client. Now if I go to our project, first we need to import AOS and AOS CSS files. I'm going to copy these two and paste it here. And now if I hover here, you can see we need to install the type also. So I'm going to copy this and then paste it here to install the corresponding types for iOS. Next, what I am going to do is in this home, I am going to first use the use effect, and then we are going to add a empty dependency array, and here I am going to create a function called init aos. This one will be an async function, and here we are going to await import aos, and then we are going to use aos dot init, and we are going to pass some props here or parameters here. If you can see, they have a lot of properties that you can customize. So here what we are going to use is first the duration. The duration will be 1000 milliseconds, that means 1 second. Then we have easing, we're going to use ease for this one. Then we have once, the once will be true. Then we have anchor placement, the anchor placement will be top bottom. And then we are going to call our init aos. That's it. So this is our configuration for aos. Next, we are going to add the animation. So first we are going to add animation to our about section, not about section, in the hero section. So if I go to the hero section, and at the top for this h1 we are going to add a data dash aos, and we are going to add a fade up, and then I'm going to copy this and paste it here, and we're going to use a delay here. So data dash us slash delay, so we'll have a 100 millisecond of delay. So first this animation will happen, and then after once 100 millisecond delay, this animation will happen. So now if I go to our project and if I reload the page, here you can see we have this beautiful animation. Awesome. Next we are going to add animation to our about section. So for this, let's go open the about.tsx, and in the about we're going to only add the animation to our image tip. So here we're going to add data dash aos zoom in, and we're going to add a data dash aos dash anchor dash placement, and we're going to place this in top center. Now if I hit save and go to our project, if I reload the page, we have the initial animation, and here you can see we have this about section animation. Next we are going to add animation to our pricing section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy these two, and then I'm going to open my price.tsx, and here we are going to add animation to the price card. So for the first price card we're going to use fade right. So fade right, and hit save, and I'm going to copy these two, and I'm going to add this for the second one, and here we're going to add a delay. So data dash aos slash delay, the delay will be 100 milliseconds. Now if I hit save and go to our project, and if I reload the page, so here you can see we have this animation, then about section animation, and then the price section animation. Next we are going to add animation to our FAQ section. So let's copy this animation from here and then go to the FAQ, and we are going to add the animation to the image only. So here we are going to use zoom out, and we do not need any delay here. Now if I hit save and go to our project, if I reload the page, so we have this animation, then we have this slider, then about section animation, then we have price section, and then we have this FAQ section. So this is all the animation that I want to show you. If you want, you can add animation for this content also in the same way, and you can do any type of animation that is here in the iOS, like the flip, zoom in, and all of this. So this is our animation. Our animation is completed. So our project is completed. Now we are going to deploy our project. So for the deployment, we are going to use Vercel. And first we need to push our project in GitHub. So for this, I'm going to open my GitHub account. And GitHub, I'm going to create a new project. So new repository, and I'm going to name it AI image. And then I'm going to make this a private repository, and then click here to create repository. Now I'm going to open my project, and I'm going to stop the terminal, and then I'm going to close one of these, and first I'm going to run git init, and then git add dot, then git commit dash m and a message. Let's say first. Now if I go to our project, so we completed this part, then we have to add grid branch main. So copy this and paste it here. Next we have to add the remote origin, so copy this and paste it here. And finally we are going to push our project. Now this will push our project to GitHub. So it's completed now. Now if I go to our project and reload the page, here you can see we have our app, component, constant, lib, and all of this. So our project is successfully pushed in our GitHub. Next, I'm going to open Vercel. So if you don't have any account, you can create one for free. And then in the Vercel, I'm going to click here to add new project. And here you can see this is the latest one that I pushed in my GitHub. So I'm going to import this. And let's click here to deploy. So before deployment, here one important thing that is, so if you click here, and here you can see they have the different types of build command. So here we are going to change this install command, because if you remember, we use the use force before installing any of our Shadcn package. So what I'm going to do is npm I dash dash force. So we are going to use dash dash force. So now I'm going to click here to deploy. So the deployment started. So let's wait some time to complete the deployment. The deployment is completed. Now continue to dashboard. And here we have a domain now. So if I click here, this will open our project. As you can see, we have our animation and we have our Navbar and our button. So if I scroll here, you can see we have our slider which working properly. We have our scroll animation, pricing section, our slider, and everything looks perfect. Now let's generate an image here. So let's say beautiful sky at the night. Now if I click here to generate, we also have the loading effect. So let's wait to the image to generate. Here you can see the image is generated successfully. We have our toast message, and this is our image. So beautiful sky at the night. And if you click here to download, this will open in a new tab. So everything works properly in the deployed version also. So if I inspect, here you can see we have our menu works properly, and we have our image, and everything also works properly in our deployed version. So this is our project of generating image using AI, and we also have developed this landing page also. So this is it for today. If you have any question related to this project, you can ask me in the comment section. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our channel for more interesting web development projects. Thanks for today.